Peace will fill the world when we finally understand that only from within can it be spread throughout the land. Every single person living peace in what we do, only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.
Good morning, friends. I'm Leona Evans, minister at Unity of San Luis Obispo, an inclusive, progressive, spiritual community affirming the good in all life. Welcome to our Sunday morning live stream. I'm delighted to be here. I'm thrilled that you chose to join us this morning, and we've got a wonderful service planned for you today. We're going to honor a Black history hero. We're going to talk about freedom, personal freedom, the freedom that is a God-given gift to each one of us. And we're also going to have a wonderful meditation and some inspiring and beautiful music. So let's come together. Let's just take a deep breath and relax, because we want to focus in on the message for today. We want to give these affirmations of life our full attention. We want to accept the truth that we are created in love by the one presence and one creative force in the universe, which we call God the Good. We bless the gifts that we have been given, and we give thanks for opportunities to learn how to share them more effectively in our lives and in our world. So let's take a deep breath and relax. Become comfortable right where we are. Make sure that we awaken our mind and heart. Be sure that we give our full attention to the content and the experience that we will share today. And let us affirm our invocation statement together. I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. Once again, I am now in the presence of pure being, immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. And so it is. Amen. Let's open our service, as always, with a joy song performed by Matthew J. Evans.
Good morning. Today we're going to sing When the Saints Come Marching In. Please sing along with the lyrics on the bottom of the screen. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. Oh, when the sun begins to shine. Oh, when the sun begins to shine. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the sun begins to shine. Oh, when my friends come in the room. Oh, when my friends come in the room. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when my friends come in the room. Oh, when the love shines through in us. Oh, when the love shines through in us. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the love shines through in us. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, when the saints come marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. Oh, Lord, I want to be in that number when the saints come marching in. du ba ba da du bui da du bui da du Have a great morning, everybody.
Thank you so much, Matthew. That was just lovely. Well, today, in honor of Black History Month, we'll be celebrating the life and career of world-renowned novelist, essayist, children's writer, and university professor Toni Morrison. She received the Presidential Medal of Freedom, National Humanities Medal, the Nobel Prize in Literature, and the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. She was born in 1931 and died in 2019 at the age of 88. Toni Morrison's works are praised for addressing the harsh consequences of racism in the United States and the Black American experience. She had a unique writing style that seemed to capture not only the deep suffering, but the bravery and heroism of Black Americans. Her writings depict the history as well as the deepest levels of the human experience. In this way, she left an indelible impression on her readers. Among her most important works are The Bluest Eye, Song of Solomon, Tar Baby, and Beloved, which was also made into a film starring Oprah Winfrey. Toni Morrison was born in Lorain, Ohio, to a working-class family. Her parents were both born in the South and experienced the effects of racism in both Alabama and Georgia. When Toni's father was about 15 years old, he witnessed the lynching of two African-American businessmen who lived on his street, and it had a traumatic effect on him. Soon after the lynching, he moved north to Lorain, Ohio, hoping to escape racism and find work. Toni said that her father was so traumatized by his experiences with racism in the South that for the rest of his life, he refused to allow white people into his home. Well, as a child, Toni was an avid reader, and among her favorite authors were Jane Austen and Leo Tolstoy. Her parents also exposed her to traditional African-American folk tales and ghost stories and music. In this way, they instilled in her a sense of heritage and language. During high school, Toni was on the debate team, the yearbook staff, and the drama club. In 1949, Toni Morrison enrolled at the Howard University in Washington, D.C. She graduated in 1953 with a BA in English and went on to earn a Master of Arts from Cornell University. She taught English at Texas Southern University in Houston and then at Howard University for the next 7 years. She met and married Harold Morrison, a Jamaican architect, and together they had 2 sons. They were divorced, however, not long after the birth of her second son. After her divorce, Toni Morrison began working as an editor for Random House. 2 years later, she became the first Black woman senior editor in the fiction department of Random House and played a vital role in bringing Black literature into the mainstream. She fostered a new generation of African-American writers, including Angela Davis and Huey Newton. She also brought to publication the 1975 autobiography of Muhammad Ali called The Greatest, My Own Story. In 1970, Morrison began writing fiction, and she got up at 4 a.m. every morning to write while raising 2 children on her own. 7 years later, her novel Song of Solomon became a main selection of the Book of the Month Club. It also won the National Book Critics Circle Award. In 1983, Toni Morrison left publishing to devote more time to writing. During that time, she lived in a converted boathouse on the Hudson River in Nyack, New York. She taught English at the State University in New York and at Rutgers University in New Brunswick, New Jersey. In 1987, she published her most celebrated novel, Beloved. It was a New York Times bestseller for 25 weeks and was a huge critical success. However, despite high acclaim, Beloved failed to win the National Book Award or the National Book Critics Circle Award. As a result, 48 Black critics and writers, including Maya Angelou, protested the omission in a statement that the New York Times published in 1988. They stated, despite the international stature of Toni Morrison, she has yet to receive the national recognition that her 5 major works of fiction entirely deserve. Well, later that year, Beloved won the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Beloved is the first of 3 novels about love and African American history, sometimes called the Beloved Trilogy. Morrison said, "The conceptual connection is the search for the beloved, the part of the self that is you and loves you and is always there for you." In 1996, Oprah Winfrey selected Song of Solomon for her new book club, which became a really popular feature on The Oprah Winfrey Show. As a result, when Oprah selected Morrison's first novel, The Bluest Eye, it sold more than 800,000 paperback copies. Oprah said, "I saw with certainty there would have been no Oprah Book Club if Toni Morrison had not chosen to share her love of words with the world." In 2004, Morrison put together a children's book called Remember to mark the 50th anniversary of the Brown versus Board of Education Supreme Court decision in 1954 that declared racially segregated public schools to be unconstitutional. In the spring of 2006, the New York Times Book Review named Beloved the best work of American fiction published in the previous 25 years, as chosen by a selection of prominent writers, literary critics, and editors. In 2019, a resolution was passed in her hometown of Lorain, Ohio, to designate February 18th, her birthday, as Toni Morrison Day. Additional legislation was also introduced to proclaim that date as Toni Morrison Day throughout the state of Ohio. The resolution was passed by the Ohio House of Representatives and signed into law in December 2020. Well, what can I say? There is so much more of Toni Morrison. She wrote poetry, she wrote operas, she wrote plays. She was amazing in her breadth and scope of talent, a prolific writer and an eclectic talent with so many different ways to express herself. She believed in self-expression. She believed in the genius of the human spirit. Well, we're going to listen to some beautiful music by Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans, and then we're going on to talk about some experiences that can benefit and bless us in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about freedom.
Here is a fun old tune by Louis Armstrong and his wife at the time, Lillian Nobles. At that time, she went by a Lil Hardin Armstrong, and a fellow named Don Ray, who helped out with the words, I'm sure. Lil played the piano in his first, one of his first groups called Louis Armstrong and his Hot Five. This is from 1927. Strutting with some barbecue. 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3. Strutting with some barbecue, swinging with a band, like the happy people do, way down in Dixieland. Hear that old trombone and the trumpet ad lib. Love to hear that lick while I do my picking. Picking on a juicy rib, I'm strutting with some barbecue, feeling mighty grand. Pass another helping, please, of that good old Dixieland. And Mr. Waiter, if you please, another rib or two, and I'll go strutting with some barbecue. I'm strutting with some barbecue, all swinging with a band, like the happy people do, way down in Dixieland. Hear that old trombone and the trumpet ad lib. Love to hear that lick while I do my picking, picking on a juicy rib, strutting with some barbecue, feeling mighty grand. I tell you what, pass another helping, please, of that good old Dixieland. And Mr. Waiter, Harold, if you please, another rib or two. I think so. And I'll go strutting. I'll go strut. I'll go strut with some barbecue. That's what I'm gonna do. I'll go strutting with some barbecue in just a moment. I'll be there. Thank you, Matthew. That was fun.
Save me a plate. Oh, I love this song.
Well, I loved it too.
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. That was just adorable. What a fun tune. And you did it so beautifully. Thank you so much. Well, let's talk about freedom. For Toni Morrison, freedom was more than a word. It was a way of life. And for us in Unity, freedom is also a way of life that we need to put into practice. And we need to think about it almost all the time because we've been stuck in old habits, and we're not free as long as we're stuck in those narrow negative beliefs. And so we need to think about freedom. We need to pray about it. Freedom comes in many forms and can be applied to many different areas of our lives. Now, one of the most important things to remember is that there's always something to be freed from and always something to be free for. In other words, freedom is an action word. And if we want to demonstrate our freedom, we need to prove that we've freed ourselves from what has been keeping us in bondage. And how do we prove that? Well, by doing something that we've not given ourselves permission to do before, and experiencing more of our spiritual power and personal freedom. For example, if I decide I want to speak my truth, but feel trapped by my old self-doubts and insecurities, then I'm not really free, am I? Theoretically, there would be no law preventing me from speaking my truth, but that doesn't make me free to actually do it. Toni Morrison said, if you want to fly, you've got to give up the stuff that weighs you down. Once again, if you want to fly, you've got to give up the stuff that weighs you down. I love this quote because it states the problem and the solution so very clearly. Now, at the beginning of the year, during our goal-setting practices at our New Year service, we wrote our desired goals for the coming year, and then we wrote the issues that we would be willing to release in order to achieve our desired goals. Now, to use the example we've been using, my goal would be to feel free to speak my truth and give up the self-doubts that have been weighing me down. Now, clearly, this is a process that requires focus, prayer, meditation, and discipline. However, too often we underestimate the work required to free ourselves, and we find ourselves having to rethink our goals. For example, I might be faced with the challenge of wanting to speak my truth, but still feel insecure and frightened about actually doing it. After all, for so many years, I've told myself it's not safe to speak my mind. People won't approve of me. It could be dangerous. I could lose my job, lose my friends. Unless I understand that these thoughts are presenting themselves to me in order to be healed, I will see them as actual threats to my safety and security. These were the thoughts and beliefs I was supposed to be releasing, and now they seem more threatening than ever. Now, at this point, I don't feel free to speak my mind, and I don't feel free not to speak my mind. It sounds like I've trapped myself in a no-win situation because I haven't really understood what it is that I'm supposed to free myself from. All I know is what I want to do, and while I acknowledge I do need to let go of limiting beliefs, I haven't really faced them and allowed them to show themselves to me so that I can overcome, so that I can experience a healing and experience freedom. Now, let's go back to that Toni Morrison quote again. If you want to fly, you've got to give up the stuff that weighs you down. Why is this important to discuss at this particular time? Because next week begins our spiritual preparation for Easter, and we have the opportunity to revisit the goals we set on this past new year and work with them during the 40 days between Ash Wednesday and Easter Sunday. In other words, in unity, we reinterpret our time of Lent not as a time to give up something tangible as a sacrifice, but as a time of letting go of limiting ideas and freeing ourselves to experience the resurrecting spirit of the Christ, or the indwelling spirit of God. This is the time for taking a deeper look at what it really means to be free, to be willing to take responsibility for our decisions without blame or shame, to feel at peace inside of ourselves so that when we do speak, we do so with clarity and compassion, to feel a genuine transformation taking place inside of us that gives us the freedom to fly, which is our God-given birthright, to remember that, as I often say, we are not human beings trying to have a spiritual experience, but we are spiritual beings learning to have a human experience. We can't always guarantee that we will not make mistakes along the way, and we can't guarantee that the path will always be easy, but we can realize that we were created in love by the one creative power in the universe that we call God. And that power and presence and creativity and freedom is always within us and around us. There is a song that we'll be doing during our spiritual preparation for Easter. It's one of my very favorite unity songs, very simple but very powerful. And it was written by a former teacher and dear friend, Janet Manning. I am free, I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free, I am unlimited. Right now, I am free to truly begin to let go of those narrow, limiting fears. I'm willing to see them for what they are, not the truth, but the voice of the inner critic who is more afraid than I am. That's not the voice we need to listen to. We've been discussing this for the last couple of weeks. It's not about being afraid. It's not about feeling inadequate. It's about learning what it means to release the limiting beliefs, to look at life from a brand new perspective. And instead of the fear, embrace the possibilities. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. Take a deep breath now and relax. This is the time in our service for meditation, contemplation, and integration of today's message. The message for today is freedom. I am free from doubts and fears, from self-condemnation, from resentments and pain of the past, and I am free for living life to the fullest, feeling the joy of living, the energy of life itself, the awareness that I am one with Spirit, one with God, filled with divine potential, filled with the freedom to experience all that is inside of me to create. I am one with my ability to free myself from habit patterns that have limited my choices. And I am free to remember who and what I am. A unique and individualized expression of Spirit. I am free. I am unlimited. There are no chains that bind me. I am free. I am unlimited. Right now. Right now. I celebrate my freedom by remembering to use my affirmations to claim the truth that is mine by divine birthright. I celebrate the love that I am, the wisdom, strength, and power that I am. I look at life in new ways because I am free. And so it is. Amen. Friends, let us take a moment to honor President's Day that we are celebrating this weekend, to give thanks for our democracy, to give thanks to those who have served in this most challenging office, and to know that there is liberty and freedom for all in these wonderful United States of America. Let's also bless the offering that you would share with Unity of San Luis Obispo and give thanks that we are a thriving online ministry, that we are here to serve and to inspire, and that we are gracious to receive our blessings. As you give, so shall you receive. Please check our website for places that and ways that you can tithe. Also, you can tithe on Facebook if you choose to do that. We bless you. We give thanks for our time together. And we affirm our prosperity statement together. Freely I give, freely I receive. God is my source.
Here's a tune from the great Thelonious Monk. Quite a character.
Oh yeah, one of the best.
And he just called it Blue Monk, because it's a blues. 1962. A one, a two, a one, two, a three, a four. Speaking of, Thelonious Monk from 1962,
One of my favorites.
one of his newer songs. Great work, Matthew.
You too. I love this one. Love a good blues. And nobody does it like Monk.
You bet it's.
Thank you so much, Brett Mitchell and Matthew J. Evans. What a great rendition of that amazing song by Thelonious Monk, one of the great geniuses of the jazz age. Also, we want to remember to honor Louis Armstrong and Lil Hardin Armstrong for the song that they composed at the beginning of the service. Thank you so much. Thank you all for your incredible talent and for blessing us so richly. Let's sing our peace song, shall we?
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyful vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And now let's speak the words of our prayer for protection. Together, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Friends, please remember to press the like button and share your comments with us. We look forward to hearing from you. Also, please remember to tune in to the Get Off Your Affirmation podcast. Happy President's Day weekend. Next week, we start our spiritual preparation for Easter, and we give thanks for the opportunity to share inspiration for Black History Month. Have a wonderful week. You deserve it.
Every single person living peace in what we do. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true. Only then will our dream come true.